And I believe we are live. There we go. Happy Monday. It is 6 o'clock. It is time for Forever After That. I am running solo today, kind of, not really. So um, forgive me for being a little distracted. I've been trying to rearrange and make space here. So everything is a little out of kilter for me today. So it's okay. We're coming in now. I'm going to check and see. I want to try to do some sharing out real quick. So as people start to gather, hopefully we'll have a few people with us today. I did promise a special guest, and I promise that I will announce who that is as soon as I start seeing some people. So hang with me for a second. Let me see if I can get this shared out for just a real quick. I'm used to having somebody with me. It has been a wild roller coaster week. It's been a wild roller coaster month, 6 months. It's been a wild time for all of us. And just this week, I really feel like we've come into a time of real growth, and we're pushing past the boundaries that we're used to having. And so it really makes for an interesting time. We're having most people that I talk to, they're just really a little bit overwhelmed with all the energies and everything that's going on. So I'm trying to get this set up so that as we see if I can share to my page, and then I'm done. That's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to get rolling. And whether we have anyone, I do see some people. So I will catch up to you here in just a second. Hi, Melanie Garner. So glad that you're here with me. Let me get back over to the page where I can find everybody so I don't miss the comments, because I love this show today. Is going to be all about you guys and me, okay? Because I'm the only one here today. So I want to hear what you have to say. If I'm looking sideways, that's where my phone is. I'm trying to keep up with you. Hi, Carol. Thank you for joining me, Carol. Leaving me here. I'm a little out of kilter, if you can tell. I have been I got this, there's this wild energy in the planet today, kind of both bipolarish. It's like we've been having these big lows and these times of growth. And now I feel like we're coming into a time of, all right, all that stuff that you've been working on, trying to sort out, and trying to find a way to work it into yourself so you can better work with these new energies. They're kind of really coming to a place of fruition, I guess is a good word. It's coming around to a place where we are starting to feel this positive energy, this growth that we've been going through for a long time. It was just the pain of growing, those growing pains, and now we're coming into a time of, okay, now we're actually seeing. And I know Carol's been talking about it too. A lot of times this past week, I've noticed a lot of different noises, as if people are talking to me when I'm trying to sleep, or even feeling somebody sitting down on the bed that's not there. I'm having more experiences of energies being around me that have always been there. And I just didn't have such a definite feel as far as my third dimensional body is concerned. I think that's a better way. I have a lot of feeling of energy when angels are close, when source energy, all these different energies, when our ancestors, our loved ones are around us, we feel those energies. And I've been very sensitive to that for a very long time, but now it's like a more physical, it's a more blending into this world. And I would love to hear from you guys. As you come in, I see about 6 there. As you come in, if you're having some more like third eye types of experiences, please go ahead and post it so we can talk about it. I am watching your comments. Carol says, yes, definitely experiences of clairaudience. Clairaudience is when you're getting that, you hear somebody talking. Not necessarily, you won't see anybody there. Okay. I have to make known that my guest today, it's like that, just kind of, I felt his energy all of a sudden. So when I first started the show, it was Steve through and through. Along with all of these things that we've got going on with the clairaudience, we have to recognize the fact that that clairaudience is coming from someone, right? So the clairaudience is coming from our angels, our guides, our loved ones. We have so many energies around us all the time, even energies of animals that have passed. So sometimes I kept feeling something laying on my bed. It's a cat. It could be a cat that's passed. It could be a little dog that's passed. I used to have a little poodle. So it could be the energies of your pets. It could be angels. It could be guides. It could be all kinds of different kinds of experiences that you're having. The way that I see it is the veil is really, we've talked about this in past shows, there really isn't a veil other than what we put in place, each one of us individually. The more we allow for these experiences of loved ones to come back through and let us know that they're here, the more that we will experience them. So, hi, Deborah. Nice to see you. So, that's what we're talking about today. And the guest that I have today, I said I had a very important guest. It is Steve, because in the past 24 hours, now we know that he passed. I'm coming into July again. So, it's been almost 6 years since his diagnosis. That was around July 12th, and I think it's July 14th. You'd think I would remember it. July 14th, he went in and got the diagnosis for cancer. So we're coming back into that phase of my having higher emotions because I start to go through the things that I went through 6 years ago here. And so the reason why I asked him, I'm allowing him to be a big part of this today, is because he has been trying to work with me. My guides have been trying to work with me, and he is one of my guides, to help to release the pain from the memories, those past things that have happened to us. We can fall in. If you can see in a less linear way, this is a challenge for you, for all of us. We are so programmed to work in a linear fashion. So we believe that everything has a timeline, right? There isn't really a timeline, what we're in the way that we are used to thinking, okay? That is really just a man-made construct. The time is actually all right now. So it goes up and down instead of out like this. It's all happening right now in this big series of dimensions that are right here close to us. And so if you consider, go a little deeper into the idea that everything that has ever happened or is ever going to happen is actually in the now. Okay, if it's all in the now, that means the way that he was teaching me yesterday was we can work with the energies to help ourselves to heal. We can work with the dimensions, the energies in different dimensions. In 2015, Steve and I had bought a house in Santa Claus, Indiana, of all places, because I love happy places. Even then I did. We moved into it just about maybe a week from now. We moved in right before the 4th of July. So it's coming right up to that, where we moved into that pretty little house. It was a place that he and I had longed for, had really wished for. We had been living in a different house that we didn't own, and this was a dream come true to buy this house. And there was such joy in moving into that house. And he was with me yesterday. I've been a little bit off trying to sort through some emotions. And as I slowed down yesterday and I was still in my car by myself up in a mountain someplace, I got quiet. And the experience that I was having was, I'm working on channeling differently. There's a part of me that feels as if it's not wants to, I just know that I'm coming into a deeper ability with the channeling. And so I thought, I'm going to be still and I'm going to see who wants to come through. Now, I watch a lot of people. Thank you for sharing, Carol. I watch a lot of people when they channel, and some of them will shift their energy. They'll do different things. They'll take on different accents. And I have, in a couple of times, taken on a different kind of accent. But mostly, the energy that comes through me when I begin to channel, I can feel the shift in me. I go into a very loving, pure, perfect love. That's the only way I can put it. It's like this beautiful energy comes in and it begins to come out. And so as I sat there yesterday and I said, okay, I know we're working on this. I'm in a still place. Can we see what's going to happen? And the energy that came through, I said, if you need to come through anyway, you take over. If it's a different accent, different language, however you want to come through me, I'm open and ready to receive. And as I did that, once again, I came through sounding very much like me, softer version of me. And the way that they're giving it to me is that it's the same. It's just the way that I channel. I channel source energy through me, comes through my vocal cords as if it's me in a much, I would say, a softer version of me. Sometimes it's kind of forceful, but in a gentle way. You know, that disciplinarian parent that's speaking to you out of love. It comes through that way, and it's not through my thought processes. It comes through in a way that it just simply flows. That's how I do most of the shows that I do. It just begin to let it flow. I open up and allow. And so the way that they're helping me to understand, and I will get back to Steve in a second, the way that they're helping me to understand is that it is literally the same as you would hear from different channelers, well-known channelers, is that you are learning how to be always online. All of us are learning how to be always online as far as our higher selves are concerned. We begin to move into a higher vibration. And as we move into that higher vibration, that energy of source, the energy of angels, whoever it is that you're wanting to, if you can give them any name that you'd like, they come through that filter of your higher self. It's not some foreign object. It's not something crazy, you know, whatever, taking over somebody's body. I know there was a time years ago when that's what people had to do. They had to pretty much let themselves just shut off. They let another entity take over their body, and they made a complete shift, and they would speak differently and their mannerisms would be different. This is now the new human, which is what we are. If you're watching this, we are able to, as we begin to move into the energy of the higher self, we are able and gifted in such a way that the energy of source, which some call God, which is who came to me yesterday, comes through very clearly through a channel of the higher self. So we don't go anywhere. My egoic self steps aside, but stays very close. I still have the filter of my ego. And that's why sometimes channels will come through a little bit differently, because we do have that ego that filters, but that is not a mistake. When you see someone who is truly in that moment, in that stillness, and they have gone into that centered, very open space of the higher self, there comes with that the experiences of so many lifetimes, not just this lifetime, many lifetimes. And because that comes through, there is a higher wisdom, and there are many, many experiences, and there is a stronger ability to have compassion and empathy for those around us, because we have experienced being physical many times. So if you were to just speak to God, you know, however you want to picture God, God has only had experiences in physical form through many people, through those of us, pieces of his soul or her soul, their soul, that has come into physical form. So the true energy of the creator does not have a physical form, does not have a voice or vocal cords, does not look like a grumpy old man sitting on a throne someplace, passing down judgment. It is truly the energy of love. And that energy of love channels through us, and we translate through our filtration system the words that the creator of all would like to speak. And it's that simple. And it literally is only learning how to set aside the lower vibrational ego to allow for the higher self to take the front seat. And so as we begin to come more into ourselves, we begin to get more and more comfortable in the space of the higher self. It gets easier and easier to channel the energy of higher self or God self through and allow it to come out the mouth. I hope that all makes sense. So, hi Rebecca, hi Lisa, I see you guys. So, what we're coming to, and what I came to this morning. If you ask Carol, sometimes I just go off in the morning. First thing in the morning, I've been sleeping and all these things that I've been working on for who knows how long. I get frustrated for a while. I'm like, I'm trying to figure something out and it's just not coming. I'm listening and listening. I'm thinking, I want it now. I want it now, because I can be a real spoiled brat sometimes. And it doesn't come fast enough for me. And I'll start to get kind of frustrated and jumbled up is a good word. I get jumbled up inside. People that care about me, sometimes they're like, what is wrong with her? I'm all jumbled up. I'm working on something. I've got a puzzle. I've got a conundrum and I'm trying to figure it out. And it's trying to come through. And in my physicality, I'm having a hard time. My brain doesn't quite want to let go of figuring it all out. So it's still in the mix and it gets me all confused. This morning was one of those mornings when the brain stepped aside and all of a sudden this stuff started flowing out of me. And I realized yesterday when I was sitting there on that mountain and I started to channel, it was source energy came through like a very loving grandfather, very gentle. He's like, you're so tired. What are you doing? You know, he was so gentle with me. And I suddenly realized that he was trying to show me how to heal a little bit more deeply from the loss of Steve. And in the process of moving in that direction, source energy, God, became Steve and began to go down a path with me, reminding me of our 1 year together in that home and reminding me of the way that he hung all those beautiful lights. You wouldn't believe the way he would hang lights on a house. It was so incredible, so perfect. He was such a perfectionist. We had Christmas trees, we had lights, we decorated, we lived in Santa Claus. We went crazy. We had decorations everywhere. And so as he was sitting there reminding me of that, he said, you know, you are a multidimensional being. We are all multidimensional beings, which means that time is all the same, right? That there is no real time the way that we see it. We are all in the now, and every moment that we've ever existed exists somewhere in that now. Different dimensions. Time, what we would consider time, is actually different dimensions. So the way that he was trying to help me to heal is, you know, he goes, every year about the time that you went through the trauma of losing me, you go into that loss again. And as we go into that loss again, it's like we're right back there. Even though we're not physically back in that space, our bodies go energetically into those spaces. Now, I want you to consider this for you. You have moments in your life that were super traumatic, right? And when you revisit those, it might be a song that plays, it might be a taste in your mouth, it might be a smell, it might be somebody walks by and reminds you of somebody. And a part of you literally goes back in time. You go back into another dimension. How many times do you play a song and it takes you back in time? And you think, well, it's just my memory. It really isn't just your memory. It really is a part of you shifting into another dimension. Your body may stay here, but you are a little time traveler because it's all really happening right now. That song pulls you into another dimension. For just a moment, you've pulled into another dimension. And then you realize, oh, I'm still here. The song goes off and you're right back where you started. But for a moment, you were in the energy. And you know I'm right on this. You were in the energy of another time in your life. When we do deja vu, we are jumping into another dimensional experience of very likely another lifetime that we've had. We are walking through a place that we have walked through before, not in the lifetime that we're living. We have stepped into another dimension for just a moment. We stepped into another dimension and then we stepped right back out of it. So I'm all about this right now. I feel like it's an important lesson for us to pay attention to because we're coming into new energy. We're really advancing quite quickly. And because we are, it's painful, it's difficult. We're all having these crazy ascension symptoms. But as we're going through these experiences, different things are popping up. They're becoming stronger, right? We're having experiences that maybe before they just kind of went unnoticed. We didn't really notice as much deja vu. We didn't notice as much of, oh, that song just pulled. We weren't really paying attention. You know, like we just kind of went there and then we came back out. I want you to be more aware of the fact that you are a multidimensional being that is more powerful. That is what they gave me yesterday. You are so much more than you think that you are. You see yourself as this little human walking around in the planet that is being tossed around and doesn't really have any control over things. And what they're trying to show us is that we can change the energy of any moment that we are in by reaching into another dimension momentarily and pulling a different energy out of it. So if you're in this moment where you're suddenly in a whole lot of pain, you're like, oh, it's that day. This is my anniversary. It's Christmas Day. I'm missing somebody. And you've gone into that, you're actually allowing yourself to go into a negative experience again, something that hurt you. You are going when the experiences were very painful, we go into them very easily. See, that's why it's such a great training. It seems horrible, but the pain really pushes us through desperation to go into those places more easily. That's how we learn. So now what they're trying to give us, and I really will check on you guys. I want you to really, this is what they want us to talk about today. So I'm just going to let it continue to flow. What they want you to experience from now on, as much as possible. Now you're going to have to push yourself. Okay. You're going to have to remind yourself of this. You can tattoo it here if you'd like to. Or you can just put it on your window, your mirrors, wherever if you're driving, put a note in your car. From now on, when you feel yourself falling into that old energy of, I'm sad, uh-oh, here goes the depression. I'm going to fall into that mud pit and I may never get out of it. And we all know, trust me, I know that painful place. The idea here is, hi, Julie Kiss. The idea here is to remember that you are multidimensional, and that when you begin to fall into that sadness, that grief, that you can stop it right there and go, wait a minute, I've decided to pull, instead of taking myself into that dimension where I lost him, I think I'll take myself into 2015. I think I'll take myself into that place where all was good. 2015, everything was so easy. We're moving. Well, it wasn't easy because we were moving, but it was easy in the way that we were all together. It was a happy time. Can you take yourself, can you consciously split off from that direction that you're going? When you hear that song or you have that moment where you think you might go into grief, can you shift into a different dimension? Can you say, I'm going to go into a different year? It's all happening right now. You can choose. You get to go wherever you'd like. Be the time traveler. Practice being time travelers with me. This is my new thing. Change, shift directions, go to a different time. Don't let yourself fall into that grief. Now, if you want to, sometimes we want to, sometimes we feel the need to revisit things. Sometimes it's a part of our healing, and that's okay. But if you've done the healing work and it's just torture to go back to that place and to revisit those things that hurt, maybe you can shift that energy just like that by putting yourself into a different year, a different time, space, continuum. We'll use fancy words today. Put it on your forehead. Yeah. I'm needing another tattoo, Lisa. So let me check in on you guys real quick. Hi, guys. I am so happy to see this little crowd. You guys are you're my buds. I'm sure that Carol will come back and hang out with me next week and maybe some other friends. But this week it felt really important. And I kind of hinted around. I said that I was going to have a special guest. I feel him very much at my right side. He always is. He always shows up at my right side. The most beautiful thing is we're having more and more experiences of the veil really isn't there. And we're having a lot of experiences of visitations from loved ones. We are rolling into different dimensional experiences as far as our Akash and our different lifetimes that we've lived. So I'd love for you to experience that too. I remember, let me tell you this little story. I'm all by myself, so I might as well just keep on talking. Huh? I had an experience, and I'm not sure if I've told you guys about it, where a different part of me has come in and helped me to heal other people. And so the reason why I'm going back to just a little bit, not fully into the story, is if you go into what we're talking about today, with all of the different dimensions of yourself. I want you to see yourself as just one. You are this one planet, and you have had this planet of you has gone through all of these different experiences, different lifetimes. You've been the opposite sex at times. You've been who knows what. You have had all these experiences, and I say had loosely because you are having these experiences in different dimensions. Remember, it's all right now. I was a Native American healer in another one of my lifetimes. I am a Native American healer, and she has begun to come through to me in this lifetime, bringing her healing abilities to teach me because I've opened up to her. And I have others too that are starting to show up and say, okay, here I am. I need to help you. Just like we have guides and we have angels, we have so many different beings that help us. We in ourselves are different beings. It's Sybil all over again. If you guys are as old as me, there's no like argument going on over who's in charge, because you in this lifetime, this personality that you've chosen, this ego, is the one that's going to be the leader. And so they will step in quietly and they will allow for, if you would like them to work with you, they will come in. So that's another experience that some people are having. So I tell you this because if you're beginning to have these dreams, these visitations where you've got somebody that shows up, or you're in deep meditation, or you're doing healing work for someone or for yourself, and suddenly this other character shows up and they feel very familiar to you. There's a reason why they feel so familiar. So pay attention to that too. So many facets of our true selves. You are exactly right, Carol. It's like the more I go deeper into this, the more I know that I don't know anything. I know a lot, but I'm waking up to more and more and more all the time. And it's so beautiful to learn more about our true selves and to know that we have more, always more that we can discover. So most of us have hundreds. You got hundreds of players out there. If you think of it in the way of everything is happening right now, you probably have thousands of players in the game, different dimensions or different times, as we would in our linear thinking would consider. So what are they doing? What are these different parts of you doing? And what are they experiencing? What do they know? What have they learned? What kind of abilities do they have? And can I then move myself in and enjoy learning from them so that those parts of me become, I was told, and I know this sounds like crazy stuff, but please open your heart and your mind because I'm not crazy. I was told by a psychologist that I am one of the most grounded people he knows. So, and he knew me for 3 years. So something like that. He still knows me. So I'm not insane. I don't believe, I really believe there's sanity in this, but it's being open-minded and allowing for open-hearted is the better way. It's closing off the mind. You have 3 brains, right? You have a brain here that can kind of get you all messed up sometimes. You have a brain in your heart where all your compassion and empathy comes from. You have a brain in your gut. You have all these intelligent parts of you that are interactive. And so instead of always using this one, fall down into your heart for a moment. And then just kind of take a big breath. And you've been taught that you are a limited being. Right? Think about it. From the time you were born, you were told that you couldn't see fairies, you can't see angels. You were told that you can't fly. Think about it. Kids are told to sit down, be quiet. It's all about control most of the time. When you think about, even if the most open parents out there, if the kids have gone and spent time in school or church or anything like that, they've learned that they're small. They've learned how limited they are. We start to teach our children from a very young age, be careful, you're going to fall. You need to be quiet. You need, just think about all the little things that you tell them. They take on that smallness, but we couldn't be further from the truth because each one of us is so massive. We have so many different parts of ourselves. We have so many different facets of who we are. We're not just a little flat lump of coal. We are a diamond that just shines out in so many different directions. And we are going in 1,000 different directions at the same time. So to think that we're small it couldn't be further from the truth. The truth is that as you open your heart, as you begin to realize that you're bigger, that you're more, if you're willing to, and start small. I know, don't just take off, flying off the top of a building, but start small and realize that, wait a minute, maybe I am more than I've been told. Maybe I need to take some of these beliefs and just take a second look at them. We've been taught a lot of stuff, right? From birth, we've been taught stuff. Just because somebody taught us something does not make it true. So we are each able to go into our own selves. As you lay down all this stuff, you can just pick up the pieces that feel right to you. And even if they feel right to you right now, in 10 years or a year or 6 months, they might not feel right. And that's okay, because you can continue to reinvent yourself. You can just keep on changing how you believe in things until it feels right to you. So consider all that. That's what they're trying to give to us today. The biggest thing that I got yesterday in that little 30-minute channel was, we are so much more than we think that we are, and we have to let go of the idea that we are limited beings, because when we let go of the idea that we are limited, we become closer to what we really are. We are unlimited beings. We don't have limitations on the other side, and we are still on the other side, even though a part of us has come down in this physical form. The greater part of us is not limited by this physicality. And can you hear me when I say that? It means you have to expand past being just this. I am 60 and just started to feel free. Yay, Julie Kiss. I'm so happy that you're finding your freedom. It really is true. I mean, I think that I love that kids are being born younger and younger. They're just so free, open-minded. People keep trying to squeeze it out of them. You can't. You might as well stop trying. The kids that are born now are much more advanced than we are. Instead of trying to snuff out that big, beautiful light they come into the world with, we need to learn from them. We need to help them to stay in that light so that they don't fall into all this confusion, so that they don't have to go through all the lessons that we've had to go through. Vita Hammond, it is so nice to see you. Carol, I think that we are a part of the creator. I am, exactly. We have been taught to play small. If you think about the fact that you have this big, massive soul, and in order for it to come into physical, it's like this funnel. It goes funneling into your little bitty body. And you, in the process of that, something in you decides to play small. And we've been deciding to play small for a very long time, right? It's been just trained into us. We have given into it. Most of humanity is quite content in their smallness. So those who are able, those who are old souls who have had many experiences, have the ability of opening up the heart and the mind and the soul. Everything kind of opens up and comes into alignment. So your egoic self is not going anywhere. Don't say bye, just say step aside sometimes. Your egoic self is letting go of the fear-based programming so that the higher self can, and as it does that, it makes space. So you're cleaning house. You're moving all that fear-based programming out, keeps on going, bye-bye. It creates a sense of grief, just so you know. As you let go of some parts of yourself, you will feel a little depressed, a little down, because it is difficult when you're used to clinging to these things your whole life. When you start to let them go, it creates a sense of sadness in the egoic mind. So as you feel those times of loss, just be okay, sit with it, let your body adjust. It takes a time. So the way that our guides will work with us is they will help us to release those things that aren't serving us in that moment, whatever we're willing to let go of. They clean house, they make more space. And then they'll give us a downtime, a little rest time. And most of us think, uh-oh, I've lost everything now. I can't even feel anything anymore. For just a little while, we're like, oh, what happened to everything? I don't have any growth going on. What that is a resting period for you to go through and adjust to this new you. Then they will go back again. And as you're ready to release more, they will help you to release it. And as you release, you'll go through the pattern again of a downtime where you have time to adjust. And we've been on this roller coaster ride for quite a while, haven't we? Where we're up and down and up and down and all around. And then all of a sudden, we have days like today when the energy's crazy and we're like, all that stuff that we've been working on, we feel like we could walk on water. I'm having a walk on water kind of day because I feel like I'm finally, like today, I felt like I graduated from something. I don't know what, but I've learned something today. So, Julie Kiss, my parents set a great number on me and my mind, and my mindsets and my beliefs. Those days are over. Big changes finally. Vita, I am that I am. Exactly. And exactly, Julie Kiss. Our parents, we love them. We do. But just like us with our own children, they did the best that they could with what they had to work with. And this energy that we're in now is nothing like the energy that they had when they were this age or when we were children. We've gone through some very difficult times. And the energy has not been as giving. If you remember when we were younger, time took forever and be like Christmas. And then you'd think, oh, it's going to be another 10 years till Christmas comes. And, it was like everything was slower and more stagnant and heavier. And our parents had to work through that very heavy energy in order to raise children. And they had been taught what to believe, and they passed it down to us. And so they did the best they could, just like we did with our children. When we learn better, when we know better, we do better, hopefully. So for our children, it'll be different. And when they're raising children, it'll be different for them too, because we continue to evolve. So as far as we've come, we haven't even scraped the surface yet. It's just going to get better and better. I know the news says that it's not. I know that you're seeing a lot of painful things on the planet. But the way that I see it, and I'm kind of lagging and I apologize. I'll come back there. The way that I see it is that it's a battle under the surface. We are expanding. We are evolving. We're changing all the time. And it just, as far as when you're looking at the outside, at what it really looks like physically, please know that none of that is real, that it is a creation that is created through the filters of the collective consciousness. As we change the way that we view these things, that we change our perception, the actual physical experiences that we have change too. And that is person by person. It really is. It's not like we're waiting for all of humanity to catch up to us. We are the way showers. Life gets easier when you begin to remember who you are. When you begin to let that expansion come through, then you will notice that you have a different life. Okay, I could go deeply into this because I've been studying some stuff by Paul Selig that is really, really interesting. If you ever want to get really deep into this kind of stuff, I really highly suggest that you read some of his or you watch some of his videos, take some of his classes. Very, very interesting channel. He's a channel. But I was reading, I think I've gotten 20 minutes into his book, which is not much because I take little bits and pieces, and I would take a little bit and then I'd have to chew on it for a while to let my ego try to catch up to it, or to try to absorb it somehow. We're just trying to, let's see if we can let it permeate into that place that it needs to go, because sometimes it can be very difficult to get through that egoic wall. So this morning it was really coming through. Let's just say poor Carol. Carol became my filter. I was throwing it at her this morning. Yeah, Carol says, Julie, you are not alone. Many, many, many have. I would say probably all of us have. All of us, if we haven't experienced, there's very few people our age that have had those flower power, very empowering parents that were all loving and forgiving and compassionate and able to just let us be free to be whoever we were. Do you remember that movie, Free to Be You and Me? I still love that so much. And that wasn't something that we really were too much. We even though it was coming about, I think a little bit more, really, we were still held within certain standards of your gender, um, any kind of your religion, your political, whatever. We've had a lot of boxes to try to be squeezed into. So we really are becoming free to be me and you. It's finally coming out into that more freedom, and it's not coming easy. It's been quite a struggle, hasn't it? Carol's happy to help. Good, because somebody's got to listen to me sometimes. I kind of go off. I start out a little weird, and then it gets a little more weird. And pretty much I'm just on a roll. Everybody just stand back. She's on a roll. So the way that I was going this morning was, and I already wrote about it a little bit. So how long do we have? Because this could take a while. See, I have no problem talking to you guys for an hour. Let me see if I can help you with something. I had something really beautiful come through to me today too. I need to talk about that because it was very important. Because, all right, let me see if I can start back at the beginning at least a little bit more. My understanding, my current understanding, this is what finally came through to me this morning. You are a vibrational match to everything that you are experiencing. So if you look around you and you're like, well, that's pretty good, but that kind of isn't so good. And, that relationship is really kind of driving me crazy. And this is kind of no fun. And I don't like it. Then let me just tell you something. You are responsible. You are a vibrational match to the experience that you are having on planet Earth because you're a powerful being and because your energy has everything to do with the experience that you're having. So, the way my understanding is that especially in this current energy, as you learn more about who you are, that you are a multidimensional being having a human experience, and you come to terms with that, you begin to realize that should I want a different experience in this life, I have created many, many patterns, seasons, things that just kind of keep circling around. If I don't change it, it'll go and it'll happen again. Humanity is the same way. If you look through history, something will happen and history will repeat itself until we learn from it. In our own personal lives, our own personal histories will continue to repeat until we learn from them. So if we're in an experience of most everything we've got, when we first start out, we're in these really low vibrational experiences, most of humanity is, and they're experiencing things that are just not good. And there's a lot of crazy illnesses coming up. There is violence, there is horrible storms, there's horrible whatever. Their life is financial, everything's falling apart, and they're just experiencing it, and they think that they are being tossed around on the sea and they have no control. The next step is you learn, wait a minute, I am the boat. I'm not just being tossed around on the sea. You start to take control of it a little bit. You start to realize you can steer it a little bit. And then you keep moving past it. And all of a sudden, if you keep working further and further, you'll realize that you're not the boat at all. You're actually the sea. You might be the boat, but you're also the wind that's tossing the boat. And you are the water that's swirling around underneath the boat. And you are the sun, and you are the clouds, and you are the lightning. You begin to realize that you're all of that. And as you do, you start to take more responsibility for the energy that you're putting forth. Are you creating a storm in your life? Are you the one that's creating the storm? Or do you think that there's still somebody out there that's creating that storm for you? The trick to it is learning that you are the one that's creating the storms. And then you start to you realize that I'm creating these storms by the energy that I'm putting forth. If I'm being negative all the time in any way, If I'm judging that person that's walking down the street because they're wearing some funny pants or whatever, I just pulled my vibration down. I allowed it to sink. If I get angry over something that's happening in the news, if I overreact and I go around being mean with people and trying to push my opinions on them, guess what? Boom, 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 boom. My vibration just came down. In the opposite way, if I spend time listening to music that I really love, music is one of my big ones. Certain tones will pull our vibration up. Some of us like to paint. Some of us love to sing. Some of us love to play music. Some of us love to take a camera out in the middle of the woods or up on a mountain. Me, whatever you like to do that gives you joy. It might even be I'm just exhausted and the only thing I can do is sit here and look at TikTok and watch kitten videos. That's okay. It's raising my vibration, right? Don't watch the stuff that makes you angry. Just flip right through that, but make sure that you're paying attention to the world, the parts of the experience that you're having that are bringing your vibration up and not down. Because if you can keep that, maintain that vibration and keep practicing that higher vibration, it's like an exercise. You just keep on exercising your vibration until it learns how to stay high. That is what he would call, and I think he's got the greatest terminology for it of anyone I've ever heard, the upper room. The upper room is the place where you go once when you fully come to the realization, okay, this energy is coming through so strong. Go ahead. Seems like I'll do this for you. You come into a place where your vibration is so high and you learn to maintain it. So when you're in that, as high as you can get your vibration to go, you get closer and closer and closer up into that high space. Every channel that you've ever heard has something like this that they talk about. What is it that Abraham Hicks would say? The high flying disc, something like that. Your vortex. Everyone knows the vortex. It's the same thing as the upper room. They all have a word for this, a phraseology. I haven't quite come up with mine yet, but I'll get it. Most of us think of it as heaven. So you get into that energy. That is your God self. That's how I would say. That is your God self. That is your creator space. So as your vibration gets up into that space of your inner creator, you are in a place. This is where manifestation happens. Manifestation is not me saying, I would like a Tesla and I would like it to be white and I would like it to be this, and I'm going to sit there and then I'm going to visualize myself in this thing that I want. That is not manifestation. Manifestation happens when you get your vibration into that higher energy of your creator, your inner creator, which is who you are. You are God. You are a piece of God. So we all carry that energy of the creator within us. When we learn to get into that high vibration in that place of our heaven, whatever you'd like to call it, that high place, it feels like heaven. That's the only way I can put it. To me, it's pure perfect love. It's that place. And when we get to that place, we learn how to then stay in that mode. So do you know when you're meditating and you're like, ooh, it's feeling so good. I'm in this outer space and everything's great. And then something happens, the phone rings or whatever, and you go bloop, and you fall right back out of it. You've just fallen out of your vortex or your upper room or whatever terminology feels right to you, and you've come back down to planet Earth. You know where it is now. You know what it feels like. And you practice more and more getting yourself up here. When you are in that high vibration, you become the vibrational match for everything that you've ever asked for. You asked for all these things and you thought, well, they just must be, I'm just not good enough. God doesn't want me to have it. It has nothing to do with that. It is you making yourself a vibrational match to those things that you have already put into your vortex or your upper room or your under the Christmas tree, whatever you want to call it. I like that, under the Christmas tree. Your eternal Christmas tree is up there. It's got all your gifts underneath it, and you haven't figured out how to get to it to open them up yet. That's all. They all said, every time you asked, it was a yes. Nobody's there saying, oh, you're not good enough for that. I promise you, nobody will ever tell you you're not good enough. That's not a part of it. It is you raising your vibration up high enough and learning to stay in that space that you are become a vibrational match to the life that you long for. So we don't make it a commercialism. We're not going, oh, well, I want to have I want a new car, I want a new house. That's not what you have to pull yourself out of that thing of I got to have stuff mode. That will come later. But first, you're putting yourself into that high energy where everything feels good. When you get in that place, you don't care what you got. You really don't. You don't care if there's bills to pay. You don't care what's in the bank anymore. You're literally in a place of pure, perfect love. None of the rest of it matters. And when you're in that place, you are completely blissful. You have let go of all of the lower vibrational energies. You've let go of all your worries, concerns, all your fears. Everything melts away. And when you are in that place, you can't help but be a vibrational match to the life that you truly long for. Does that make sense? It's putting that first. And the effects of getting yourself into that beautiful place of a high vibration and staying there as long as you can, as much as you can, as often as you can, is that your life will then reflect it. We create the energy first, and then it comes into physical. Make sense? So it's like, okay, Lisa, just a second. So it's actually so simple that most of us will never understand it. Most people on the planet won't ever get to it because it seems too easy. It seems as if we have to work hard for everything. We've been trained to work really hard for everything. So we're actually going back into what we would consider the Garden of Eden, where it's all just a creation. But first we're creating it here. We're not creating it with these. We're not out working. We're creating it here and then stepping aside to allow it to then unfold. Make sense? I hope you're getting it. Carol is. Lisa can't spell today. Well, Lisa, I would love for you to help. We can sit anytime you like. We'll sit and have a talk about manifesting. Anybody that wants to. I love to teach. So anybody that wants to jump into a class, please look me up. I actually, on my website, I have some more classes ready to start whenever I get the right students. So we've got a class going, and that may never end because the group that we're in, I always set it up for 4 weeks and then it just goes indefinitely. So anybody that wants to jump into a class, please let me know. It doesn't have to be one of the times listed. I really am great about working around different people's times and trying to form. We will always somehow my guides know how to pull the perfect little group together. It'll be 3 or 4 people and it's always so beautiful. So we'll find people to work with you that you will feel comfortable with. So feel free, please let me know if that's something that you're interested in. Oh, I've been talking a lot. I can't see what time it is. Yeah, it's almost time. I've almost put in an hour. Here's the thing. Let me see if you can wrap your mind around this. Now, know that Yeshua and I have a very close relationship, okay? This morning, as I was going through this thought process of getting into that high vibration, I was really working my way through it. It's funny how we'll hear other people talk about it for the longest time. I used to listen to Abraham Hicks I'd go out walking and I'd try to listen. I'm trying to understand how do I get into that? It's just when you're ready for it, it really clicks. And there's different ways that it can be taught. And sometimes the right person will say it in a way that you're like, okay, I got it. So the little light bulb went off today. And when the light bulb went off fully, because it's tried to go off before, but it hasn't fully lit until now. I thought about something, or it came to me. 40 days and 40 nights. Yeshua was a metaphysician. When he was walking on the earth, he could turn water into wine, and he could walk on water. He and Yenya, because she was very much Mary Magdalene, she was very much half of him. they knew how to be true metaphysicians or alchemists. They could turn things, one thing into another. That's an alchemist. It finally dawned on me today. Every now and then I would wonder, how in the world would somebody go out into the desert for 40 days and 40 nights and live through it? And all of a sudden today, the little light bulb, but as I was getting to this, it was ding, ding, ding. Yeshua knew how to put himself into that higher frequency. And when he was in that higher frequency, he could walk into a desert and find water. He was creating it because he was creating it with that high frequency creator energy that we all have. He was able to create from the energy that he was able to maintain through that higher vibration. So even though he walked into a desert, the whole purpose of him walking into the desert for 40 days and 40 nights was to push him into that place of learning how to create from his vibration. Does that make sense? I hope you're hearing me on that, because I think it's really important. Jesus, Yeshua, came to teach us what he knew, what he could do, and so much more. So he continues to teach through us these lessons. So when we know that faith says you can move mountains, right? Faith also says you can walk into a desert that has no water and see an ocean, create an ocean with your energy. He had more than what he needed because he was able to create through his creator, high frequency creator energy. But however you want to put that, he was in his upper room. He was in his vortex and he pulled water. So imagine that we are coming to that place too. And I'm not expecting, you're going to walk out to the desert for 40 days and 40 nights right now, quite yet. Don't do that quite yet, but know that that is who we are and that's what we're made of. So begin to think of yourself as bigger, more, unlimited. You are more than you think that you are, and you are very much unlimited in your beingness and who you truly are. And that is the imagination of what we're becoming, the way that I see it. And I hope that I've been able to see all of your questions. And I think that I have, and I appreciate you guys so much. And if you're on one of the other pages, I apologize because I can't see you. I'm trying to stick it out at the imagination of becoming, because I know I can catch everyone there mostly. So if you ever want to be on and we interact more, just come to that page. I believe that's all I've got for you guys. It is now 7 p.m. We've made it through a full hour. I will do my best to try to be back tomorrow to do some meditation time. Please let me know if you're just having a difficult time. If you want to work a little more deeply on this, you want to learn more about it, please allow me to teach. It's why I'm here. It makes me feel good. And so don't be shy. I love you guys so much. Please enjoy your evening, and we will see you again. I'm sure Carol will be here at least with me next week. So take good care of yourselves, and we'll see you again soon. Much love to all of you. Thank you so much. I see your hearts and your little faces popping up. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Vita. I see you. See you girls tomorrow night. I love you too, Lisa. Thank you, Carol. Thank you for showing up. All right, we'll see you guys soon. Oops, this one, if I can figure out how to get offline. Bye, guys. Love you too, Rebecca. Bye-bye.